doing, Beans?
Doing good. That was a pretty entertaining game number one, piloted by a jungle lineup and a carry Tundra in the short lane. So safe to say, I have no clue what we're going to see here in game two, but I'm excited to be here. So we'll have to just wait and let the picks flow and see what happens.
Yep.
Want to take me through the bans?
So the Hellborn side, they banned Engineer, Monkey King, and Rally. So they're gonna go with the standard Engineer Rally ban, and they're gonna ban the Monkey King this time because maybe they didn't feel like they had a good chance of shutting him down last game. The Legion side, they went for Adrenaline, Fate, and Parallax. So they're gonna go with was it the same bans that they did in the previous game? So I think they're just.
I think more or less, yes.
Yeah. So they're just gonna try to repeat kind of the same ban lineup as they did before, since it seemed to work out after all. So, and
I agree.
Hellborn started with a Luna first pick.
It's a solid hero. You like the Aluna?
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily always first pick material, but it's just it's a decent laner. It works in just about every lane. So yeah, I like it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, what I like about Aluna is that she's one of those supports that just kind of naturally finds her farm. She can push out waves with power throw and mid game with the ultimate, and makes it very difficult to push high ground and stuff like that.
For sure, yeah.
So Nitro and Zephyr. All right. All right.
Yeah. Another interesting draft coming out from Dude. I mean, Nitro is a decent hero. He was just nerfed recently, so he might be slightly weaker than he was previously. But I've still seen MQE have some decent success with the hero after the nerf. So I still say it's a fairly strong hero. Although Zephyr, on the other hand, is a hero where I feel like he's a bit in the kind of in between, where I feel like he's maybe slightly too weak to be a sort of a main carry. Since he struggles in the tri-lane aspect, which a lot of games they kind of devolve into this tri-lane meta.
Yeah, so Zephyr kind of needs to have a good laning phase, I would say, so he can kind of take off and get really tanky.
Yeah.
And then once he gets out of laning phase, he becomes this really annoying ball of HP, so to speak.
Yep. But I still feel like even if he has a really good start, it's not always that it like works out in the very end, because his scaling is, I'd say, after the Dawnbringer was nerfed a few times, things like that has kind of maybe pushed him away from being a really top tier hero. But I'm sure they can make it work somehow.
So Andromeda and Gauntlet, it looks like that'll be the two supports, Luna and Andromeda, and then they pick up a Gauntlet, which could go mid lane or maybe be a dual lane somewhere with one of these picks. And I think I know the answer to this, but what's your take on the Gauntlet pick?
Well, I mean, it's a hero. Like
it is a hero.
There's what, how many, like 100 heroes? 100?
There are, I think, 139, but let me just check
I don't
that real fast. Hero usage list. There are 139.
So there are 139 heroes, and they decide to go for the Gauntlet, which is very interesting out of the 139 heroes. But I mean, he does have a lot of stuns and a lot of nuke, so they might be able to burst some heroes. He's definitely a hero that has some issues in terms of his scaling and his sometimes also his laning presence, but it'll be interesting to see if they can make the hero work somehow. Because maybe
what role would you like to see Gauntlet play this game, position-wise?
I generally think that Gauntlet needs a relatively good early game, because he definitely is not a hero that does really well from behind. So I want to see him either on a position 3 or position 2, meaning that he should either be in a 1v1 solo lane on maybe a safe lane, or he should be in a dual lane or a mid lane solo. The dual lane probably being on the middle lane rather than on the long lane. So maybe a Gauntlet plus a Luna dual lane mid, or a Gauntlet and Andromeda mid lane, something of this sort.
Sure.
Well, what do you agree with this, or do you have something else in mind?
Yeah, I think the hero, I personally like him in position 3 because I don't think he needs a lot of farm to kind of do what he does. He just needs to ulti hook and hit his fist on someone and just burst people down. So he really only needs kind of like a portal key or something to do that effectively. So I think personally for me, putting him in a position 2 slot kind of wastes his potential. He doesn't really farm fast or whatnot, doesn't scale well like you said. So I kind of like him on 3 a bit more. But he definitely works in dual mids for kill lanes.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's also why I said that I think because I think he's the type of hero that where you really want to get a lot of levels on early on, because both his hook and his gauntlet, his Q and his ultimate, they're all really important to get relatively early maxed out. So
let's quickly go over the bans because we almost got the draft finished. Hellbringer, Electrician, and Drunken Master are banned by Legion. Tempest, Behemoth, and Sulfuras get banned by Hellborn. Does anything really stand out?
So the Legion side, they were maybe afraid of running into Hellbringer for the team fight that the Hellborn side might try to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a Tempest being banned, so they do acknowledge the fact that the Legion potentially could run a jungler. So maybe they're seeing some, Zephyr Tempest combo coming out, or some strong early game pushes with the Tempest Astrolabe potentially with the Zephyr in the front. But
I
nothing
almost
really.
feel like the Tempest ban was because the Hellbringer ban came out. Maybe they wanted a Tempest.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense actually. Now that I think about it.
But yeah, I agree with your analysis about the pushing team fight type of thing. So I think it's a good ban either way.
I am pretty shocked to see a Gauntlet and a Devourer in the same team, if I have to be honest with you. This might be very beautiful, but at the same time, it could also be one of those situations where you have 2 people hooking at the same time, and
they're missing a Prisoner to round off the trio.
Yeah, actually, one time, I'm just gonna give a short story. One time, I tried to do a tri-lane with the old Donkey Kong boys, Dan and Holme, and we tried to do Prisoner, Gauntlet, and Devour tri-lane. That was.
How did that work out?
Well, we didn't try it again. That's too.
Was Devo hooking creeps after Prisoner hooked 5 things instead of 1?
I think we all just missed our hooks, and it just was kind of blaming each other. So that didn't really work out.
If you throw them all at the same time, somebody has to hit one, right?
Yeah, that's true. For sure.
All right, so last pick from Hellborn was the Dampier, I believe. Okay, well that was not the last pick of the game, but that was their last pick. They are going to be running a carry Dampier, and it's going to be going up against. It looks like it was a last pick of Bubbles and King Clout for the Legion side. So interesting. They're running the Parasite yet again. It worked out for them in game number 1.
But it's a very unusual draft. They have a Parasite, they have a King Clout, they have a Bubbles, and a Zephyr. It's like 4 heroes that you rarely ever see in competitive games. So
are they being spotted here? I think Gauntlet just showed himself.
Is there some way I can see it?
To somebody. It was either Zephyr or Parasite saw him. They are kind of hanging around here. As far as like a level 1 engagement goes, I want to say this goes for Legion because they have a Parasite, and Zephyr with Cyclone doesn't also do too much.
Oh, you were saying that the Legion, or you said Legion.
Sorry. The Hellborn would win a level 1.
Yeah, for sure. I was surprised. It was like Parasite.
Maybe I said this backwards, but point being is I don't think Legion has the fighting power here.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, definitely. They can't contest this at all at level 1. So I'm happy to see they chose to back off a little bit and let the Hellborn team.
Is this a support Nitro? Because dude is playing the Nitro. I thought for sure this was a Nitro somewhere.
It makes sense as a support Nitro, given the fact that they have a Zephyr and a Bubbles and a King Cloud. So I would.
Is this classic Duder? No wards, 5 minor totems on the support.
Yep, it's I can recognize this from personal experience.
Parasite getting a couple of camps blocked, 1 in each jungle. This one being body blocked though by the Andromeda.
Oh, actually, this is a really nice job from the Andromeda, and like knowing that Parasite's going to try to farm in the Hellborn jungle. Parasite's just he can't really get a good start if there's an Andromeda hitting his creep, and
Yeah, and if he hits this creep as well, I think he shares some of the experience with Parasite.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like there's like a 10-second timer on it too. I don't know if players necessarily know that, but he can steal some of the XP. Didn't do it there though.
I think the Andromeda is really happy with just chasing Parasite around, because Parasite needs a decent start, otherwise he's going to be not too useful.
Alright, so let's talk about the lanes themselves. Bottom lane is King Clout 1 versus 2 against Gauntlet and Aluna. Does King Clout get some farm out of this lane, 1 versus 2?
I mean, there's definitely a chance that he's going to get killed by those two heroes, because he doesn't really have any escapes. He does have like a bit of harass, but I'd say he's definitely happy that he's on a safe lane with this.
Top lane, Nitro getting pretty low, but so is Dampier. He gets gusted, and he goes down. He couldn't get the flight off to heal up. So the Nitro Zephyr lane gets the Bloodlust kill here in game 2.
Yep, Nitro is a pretty potent support hero actually, so not surprised that they end up winning the small skirmish on the top lane.
Yeah, also, Andro Dampier against Zephyr Nitro. There's a gust. Nitro can't get in range for a blast off nuke.
And I'd say Dampier is also almost like a notoriously weak laner sometimes against certain matchups, because he doesn't really have too high damage output, and also not really any mobility or so 1 second fear. Doesn't really cut it a lot of the time.
He's leveling up the fear. I dislike that. I think you typically want to level out the flight.
Yeah, you generally max the vampiric flight, because it stays at 75 mana at all the ranks, and it lowers cooldown by a significant portion of maxing it. So,
on top of healing you more by the more units you fly through. Yeah. Bottom lane, King Clout being slowed up by the Gauntlet. He activates the Beluster, as it's called. A couple more auto attacks to follow. 1 more needed. Gauntlet gonna get the kill here. Tower will not get a return kill.
Yeah, so I kind of expect this a little bit, that they do have kill potential, those two heroes. I do think that he's happy to be on the safe lane against a dual lane, but it's always difficult when you are a hero without any sort of mobility to go up against two heroes that both have stuns and, kind of positioning displacement. So, yeah, he might struggle a little bit on the bottom lane, but he is level 4, so he is getting pretty decent experience, but he's not farming ultimately.
Yeah, he has 12 creep kills. Not too bad, but 17 on the Gauntlet. I almost feel like that should be a little bit higher, but it is what it is. Middle lane, we haven't talked about this one yet. Bubbles versus Devo. I want to say that's gotta be Bubbles favored, right? Or maybe Devo can do fine in the lane. But top lane, we have a coming out. Dampier goes down again.
Where
Devo ports with the Invis rune. Now, I think they spotted the TP, so they know somebody's up here, right?
Yeah, this almost feels like a bit like a... Oh, that was close. It felt a bit like sort of like a TMM TP, where you hope that the mid laner does not communicate to the top lane that their mid laner is TPing top on the creeps. So
yeah, bottom lane, Clout dies for the second time. Just once he just gets stunned down and maybe hooked, he's just dead. But Bubbles gets a haste rune at the 4-minute mark, so that's gonna give him a nice safety net against the Debo, who might hit level 6 pretty soon. So far, it's been the Zephyr story here in game 2. He's 510 gold per minute with the 1-0-1 start, but more importantly, he's got 35 creep kills. Looks like he's been taking out some jungle camps here.
He's having really good start. Creeps. Yep. But it's definitely one of the lanes that you're happy to get a Zephyr going up on a 2 versus 2 lane against 1 or 2 relatively weak heroes, so where you can kind of have that explosive start where you can get a kill and you can just farm the lane, push out the lane, clear the jungle camps, and just quickly skyrocket to a 500 plus GPM and hopefully take off from there. So yeah, I think he's really happy with his start. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he's getting close to finishing his home with the Black Legion, I think.
Mid gang coming out.
Kelfield coming out. There's Parasite and a Skeleton King. He's level 5. No leech, not needed though. Shell Surf takes him out. So Bubbles, he hits 6. I think this is because Devo ported top.
Yeah.
And then bottom lane, again, Clout goes down. I almost feel bad for Clout because I feel like this is just a tough lane for him.
They're trading mid back and forth. I generally don't really like Devo solo mid. I think Bubbles has a really hard time solo killing Devo by himself because Devo has a lot of HP.
Top lane, hold that thought. We have an engagement. Gauntlet TP's up here. Has the ultimate, I believe. No, it's already used. They take out the Zephyr, and they felt that they needed to address the Zephyr, which I think for good reason. He was
That's a really good rotation.
getting pretty out of control. Now he did buy his Beast Heart, so he could break this Iron Shield, I believe, and get his Helm of the Black Legion if he wants to.
I think generally people just keep the Torment Shield or the Iron Shield plus and just buy. I mean, that's at least what I do generally. I just keep the Iron Shield and just get a Helm on top of it, and then whenever the Helm doesn't proc, then the Iron Shield will usually proc as well. So.
All right, so choosing not to break that for now. I think having the Helm would give him a little bit of bonus HP and whatnot, but
there's also 8 agility for well, not too much.
Yeah.
Cool.
They go for a kill there on the Gauntlet, but not enough. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Dampier finding himself in trouble again. He gets denied by the Andromeda. Now Bubbles puts out the Soul Trap on the Andromeda. Using the Bottle Sip's gonna have enough mana for a Shell Surf. They're gonna take out the Andro. And Dampier finding a very tough time finding a safe lane to be in this game. Zephyr goes down in the top lane, and now Nitro is 1 versus 3. He could just run back. There is a hookup on the Gauntlet, though. He's going to sidestep it, but there's the Devo hook, so they have the second one ready to go. Blast Off comes and knocks back the Devo. The Gauntlet does a good job of avoiding the knockback, the Blast Off with Devo there, and is able to run him down in the tower. Picks up the double tap.
They just both had to hook at the same time in there, so it's really hard to dodge both of them, I suppose.
Yep. Can you imagine if he ran right, sidesteps the Gauntlet hook, and then immediately runs left, sidesteps the Devo hook? That would have been quite a good sidestep sequence. But
so here, do you think it's correct for the Zephyr and the Nitro just to run back up top and just try to force the issue again, or?
That is a good question.
Because personally, I would be maybe a bit afraid of getting the same treatment again, but. Since there is action going on in the middle lane, maybe they feel like they have a chance to put some pressure up there.
Parasite and Bubbles seem to be doing a lot of work together with the kelp fields. And Bubbles had a DD rune this time, so he's been doing a really good job of controlling the tempo so far of the match. Parasite, I want to say he's getting close to that Codex. He either just bought it or needs. I think he just bought the full Codex. And meanwhile, bottom lane, Gauntlet is now on an onslaught streak, takes out the Clout. So, let's see what Parasite can do with the Codex here. I don't think he can solo kill the Gauntlet, so might just look to keep farming for now. Meanwhile, top lane, a nice blast off comes out from the Nitro, kicking back. I think it hit the Devo and the Dampier as he was trying to jump in.
Yeah, so here I would like to see some investments being purchased by the Hellborn side again, considering they have predominantly magic damage on the Legion side throughout the game, so it's similar to the previous game.
Devo is only level 6 right now.
He's still almost
7, actually.
Almost 300 GPM, so he's not completely out of it.
Top lane, Typhoon is down. Final auto attack from Nitro. It looks like they used the overdrive there too, so 2 ultimates for the Dampier kill, and he's now 0 and 5 with 1 assist, only 200 GPM. Not too good.
Yeah, Dampier's he's struggling a little bit. It's hard to, especially on the Dampier, it's really hard to come back from a position like that, because he can't really, he can jump forward, but he can't really get away, and he's definitely the type of hero where you want to have a really good start and just start flash farming once you have your 3 consume charges and your early levels. But, maybe he can recover in the jungle.
2 players up here for Hellborn, trying to address this Zephyr Nitro again. They're almost kind of expecting it, it looks like. They're playing kind of cautiously. They don't really have any vision to know that they're up here. Devo Devo has a haste, so maybe we'll see him pop that in the next minute or so and look for a
Maybe.
kill attempt.
So the King Cloud is just chilling on the bottom lane, just recovering slowly.
Yeah, the nice thing about the Cloud is if they take a fight top, he can always just port to the tower and more or less be there within a couple of seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
What item you think we'll see Cloud go for as his like first item this game?
I have no idea. I've known very little about this hero, to be honest with you. it's probably
I think staff is pretty normal for King Cloud. Reduces the ulti cooldown, which is a pretty big thing for the hero. Haste popped by the Devo here as the overdrive was used by Nitro, forces him back.
Does it also increase the fear time, the staff, or no? Or does it just
I think it only reduces the cooldown of the ultimate, but it also buffs up the goblins. I think spawn rate per goblin reduced to 3 seconds. New goblin spawn can no longer be blue. Green spawn increased to 50%. So I think the green ones are the good ones. Devo gets picked off here. Mass TPs are coming in from the Legion side. Kelfield locking down the Aluna, but there's a hook from the Gauntlet. Doesn't get him to safety. It looks like it will, but the Parade of Power comes out from King Cloud, lands on top of the Aluna. He gets transfigured, and Bubble snipes him out with the Shell Sir, picks up the double tap. So good Parade of Power coming in from Cloud. Secure a second kill.
Yep. That was a nice engagement coming out from the King Cloud. I feel like the Hellborn side are starting to fall slightly behind right now. Almost sort of licking their wounds, trying to...
Yeah, so they, in my opinion, they have a lot of heroes that really rely on winning their lanes because they don't have a lot of creep clearing power with the Devo and the Gauntlet and whatnot, so they're not able to easily push out waves, which forces them to be very reliable on setting up kills. Parasite gonna get kicked out of his creep here, and they are gonna be able to lock him down with the trio of heroes. Devo getting soul trapped up. Bubbles misses the Shell Sir, but here comes the overdrive from the Nitro, revealing the Devo, and now he will go down. No swap gonna be used there from the end. I think he had a range there actually. Yep, smoked Gauntlet. I think if he hits any of these heroes, it's a kill. He is gonna miss the hook though. Good sidestep coming in from the Clout, reacting in time.
But yeah, so most of the farm on the Hellborn side is all kind of focused on the Gauntlet currently.
I wonder if he has. I think Portal Key has to.
Yeah, I was thinking. You know, personally, I like to buy Alchemist most of this here just because it kind of keeps you in the game at all stages of the game.
But you don't have to tell me twice about an Alchemist bones.
I know, but I think in this type of game you probably need to try to help your team by getting an early PK, Portal Key that is.
I agree. I think they are in that type of position now where they're going to need that item right away. Yeah. Maybe if he wants to go for an Alchemist once, he could do it after the Portal Key.
Yeah, but you definitely don't enjoy being in this type of position with this sort of team where you need to... Oh, okay, coming out from him.
Yeah, he solo kills the Clout there.
Yeah, but as I was saying, these type of heroes, you don't want to be in the situation where you kind of have to force fights. I mean, there are ganking heroes, but if you feel like you're behind the game, you know, try to gank in order to stay in the game is maybe not a good state you're in.
I also see Devo getting caught here by the Kelp field. He will get taken out. Once he gets caught, he's done. I didn't even need the Typhoon there.
The Dampier picked up a light brand, so he's looking to try to farm his way back into the game.
I think they had some stacks, right? And I want to say they took them in the middle of the jungle. I remember seeing some stacks earlier.
The Hellborn and the Legion side cleared them.
I want to say Dampier took them. I didn't see who took them, but I feel like he was like 200 GPM. Now he's 350 almost, so I think he probably took them.
Okay. Well,
I hope he took them.
So currently, you know, there's 2 heroes on the Legion side with above 400 GPM, and then there's a Parasite with 350 and 2 supports with 228. So there's no one who has like a huge GPM advantage. It's only 50 minutes into the game. But that being said, there's still almost 6k gold ahead and 6.5k experience ahead of the recent gaming.
Yeah, so at this point in time, one like bad team fight from Legion, I think, can very easily get Hellborn back in the game. Greater power mid lane with the overdrive. They're gonna take out the Devo here. He is gonna fall. TPs are coming in response. Gauntlet does have a portal key up. He tries to go for the Gauntlet Blast. There's the Aurora revealing the position, and they are gonna burst him down with all of the spells. Parasite, very nice destroy from Luna there. Breaks the face hug. And are they going to look to turn it around? Nitro, not enough damage. The power supply keeping Luna alive. Gauntlet hunting, but he's going to get caught by a Typhoon here. Andrew is going to swap him out.
Oh, Bubbles.
Nice two-man kill coming in from the Bubbles. Very good patience from Bubbles there, and they get both kills. Gauntlet, by the way, was on a domination streak. That's going to give almost 700 gold over to Bubbles.
Gauntlet got a bit ahead of himself there, trying to force the issue. But maybe he feels like he's in the type of position where he has to, make some magic happen in order for his team to stay in the game. But it's one of those, initiations where it can very quickly end up costing you your life, and you'll shortly after regret that you peek blink forward.
Yippee top lane coming in, Clout getting the slows on Dampier. Can he catch up to him though? It doesn't look like it. So yeah, with that kill on the Bubbles, he picks up a portal key. He's got the spell shards level 1. He's having a pretty good game here. 510 GPM. You'll love to see it.
Yep.
Zephyr goes for Shamans and Helm. What do you think he's going for as his follow up to these core items?
I think he's gonna build into Oblivion Hammer now. No, that was a joke. I could see him going for a full barrier here, just because it's sort of cost effective, just to help his team group up. I think barrier is a decent choice. He could also just even go for something like a Shrunken, just because they mainly have spell damage on the Hellborn side, or he could just go for a Dawnbringer. He could go for a Muck potentially. Could go for he went for the barrier, which makes kind of perfect sense. With the way
how do you rate staff on Zephyr? Is that like an item he should buy himself, or not really necessary?
No, I think that's definitely an option too. Actually, for some reason, I kind of didn't know that one.
Mid lane, we have Gauntlet getting picked off here. Nitro gets credit for the kill. This was a Kelfield used. Greater Power was also used. Dampier gets a kill here on the Bubbles. Takes out the Legendary streak. He's going to get swapped to safety. Are they going to be able to catch him now is the question. As King Cloud and Nitro are leading the way. Parasite.
Oh, big hook coming out.
Nice hook on the King Cloud there from Devo. Zephyr leading the front lines. Dampier trying to stay alive, but there's the Typhoon breaking the trees. And now Dampier is in a lot of trouble. He is going to fall. It is a hat trick coming out for the Nitro.
Yep.
And everyone dies except for the Devourer here, so it's a 4-for-2 team fight favoring KraKenwagen. Oh, hook almost hitting on the Nitro there. Port coming in, there's the Gauntlet, he's got the portal key deactivated from the Gust. He's got it up now though, he's gonna go in. Does not hit the hook, unfortunately. It's a little bit too short.
So currently, Coco Jumbo team, aka Kraken, what is their name again?
KraKenwagen.
KraKenwagen are leading with a 10k gold lead and a 9.5k experience lead. So they are definitely on the path to take this game. With the Nitro almost finishing his Nullfire, sorry.
Yes, the support Nitro with the Nullfire blade. Almost in the making.
And I assume the Parasite is probably on a Codex 4 or 5 almost at this point. Should be.
I still find it very frustrating you cannot click on this guy.
Yep.
For lack of better words. And figure out what level his item is.
Well, you need to use your your game knowledge to know.
There it is. He's out of a creep. Level 4.
Okay, so I was right with the level 4 or 5.
Yeah.
All right, and the Zephyr, he currently has spent all his gold, so I'm not entirely sure what he's spent his excess gold on.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, actually. Something probably relatively small, but not too small.
Could be a Sol's Bulwark, maybe. Maybe he feels that. I mean, we'll see. It could look like a Sol's Bulwark, actually. I wouldn't be too much against that. It could also just be a glowstone built up for a Or an Energizer. I don't like Energizer, but it's probably not bad. Okay, it was a glowstone, so he's just going into a staff, which I'm kind of okay with. I think staff on that hero makes decent sense, and he can also start the King Cloud later on, maybe, or the bubbles even, if that's what he.
Yeah. What if he staffs the Parasite and he runs around in a Dread Beetle or a Dragon Master?
Well, then I don't know. I don't think that's very good. If that's
okay, fair enough. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
It would make sense if he went staff first item and the Parasite would have the upgrade staff by minute 15, and the Parasite would have maybe Abyssal Skull or something. But I feel like Parasite with Codex 5 in an Ancient Creep doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I agree. That's a good point.
So I definitely hope he's not going for that route. That would be less useful.
Optimal.
Less optimal. That's a good way of putting it.
What's Gauntlet buying here with this major totem? Is this
So
it's
that's
not a
just
Void Talisman, is it?
It's a Sackstone upgrade. Sackstone upgrade.
It's just right, okay. Sackstone upgrade.
Yeah. Actually, I think, and given that he has the challenge, he probably doesn't need the Energizer. But he had a really good start, and now he's down to 360 GPM. He's had his PK for what, 5 minutes now, 7 minutes or something, and you're kind of ending up in this position where you're not really, you're neither a carry or a support. So I guess that's what a position 3 is in general. But
yeah. But so he still could go in Alchemist Bones or maybe like a Hellflower even.
I think the fact that he chose to go for a Sackstone kind of gives us a tell that he's probably not too interested in going for an Alch Bones, because it does delay his Alchemist timing by a fair bit, to the point where it probably doesn't really make a lot of sense to buy it anymore. But he's probably just going to go for Shrunking at this point.
Our team wants to fight this Kongor. Nice hook on the Nitro. Rate of Power going to stop the Devourer, but there's a Gauntlet Blast. Barrel comes out, saves the Nitro. Typhoon not going to really connect, but they are going to bring down the Gauntlet there with the Parasite nukes. Dampier smoked up, going to open in on the Clout. Is going to bring him down, so they get the quick response kill. But Devourer is in the fray, and he goes down. It's a double tap for the Parasite. Currently a 3 versus 4 with Kongor on low HP. Here comes the solo Kelfield on the Dampier. There is Swap ready to go, but he would break the Kelfield. He's going to get stunned up. Codex comes out from the Parasite, takes him out, and Nitro, living life on the edge here with a sliver of health, gets power thrown by the Illuna, so he does pay for it with his life. But now Andromeda gets sniped out by the Bubbles, leading the charge here. Picks up a Light Brand, by the way. And Nitro's onslaught streak does get taken down. Can the Legion team finish this Kongor here, Foz? They only have 3 players alive. Make that 4 as King Cloud did just respawn.
I think it's gonna. I mean, they do have Abyssal now in the Parasite. I think it's gonna be hard with the 2 heroes, but with 3, they're probably gonna be fine. Probably.
Light Brand Bubble is gonna aid for the DPS.
Yeah.
That's our first Kongor kill of the game. Luna almost snipes it in time. Just a little bit short.
Yep. The Dampier is definitely sad to die in that fight. I was a little bit surprised that they only chose to show up for the initial gank with 3 heroes, and then have the remaining 2 heroes follow up 30 seconds later.
And also they didn't get that pick off on the Nitro right away. He was able to survive with the assistance of the barrier.
Exactly, and I'd say that's mainly due to the fact that they only showed up with 3 heroes. So. They probably could have had enough burst damage just to take him out immediately with the Dampier jump.
So Devo's got 2k gold saved up. Is this a portal key?
I'd say that's very likely. I think that's a decent item to go for on the Devourer in general, especially since he went for the Shaman. So not that there's it makes sense here. I think he's gonna buy portal.
There it is. That is the portal key.
Yep. Goes for a smoke, so he's going to look for to make a gank here, potentially. Maybe try to find the Bubbles on the top lane with this portal key that's being sent out. Bubbles is mindful of this presence, hiding in the trees. He might get... here Bubbles shows himself with the Shell Sharp. He blinks to the trees.
Gets hit with the power throw.
This is really
bad. He was going to walk into a... silence? He needs to silence here. Oh, he didn't silence.
Oh, he already...
He had it on cooldown.
Yeah, he cleared the creep wave with it. slightly too
Unfortunate.
too confident on the bubbles there, but they are pushing out the other lane, so maybe he's not too satisfied with it after all.
Devo Hook gonna miss here. They're gonna go for the tower. They are gonna get it in the end. I think Zephyr's getting pretty close to his staff.
Yeah.
Where are the ports coming in top? They want to go for this Dampier.
Oh,
They're gonna try to maybe hide her. Dampier. Oh, is he gonna? Oh.
Dampier's definitely overstepping a little bit. Oh,
There's the overdrive.
Okay.
He is dead.
Demolished
too greedy there.
Yeah. I think. Well, I can't see their vision, but.
Rate of power, defensive. I think he's gonna fly out. Yep.
Is he getting initiated on?
Yeah, caught him there. Evo goes in on the parasite. They're gonna burst him down.
Zephyr just finishes stop.
King Cloud has no ultimate. Maybe also gonna go down.
He missed his
Typhoon comes out. They're gonna walk out of it though. Devo maybe gonna sacrifice himself in the background here. Bubbles gets a nice 2-man kill field, locking down both the supports. And now Zephyr is charging in, gonna take out the Andromeda. Power throw hits onto both the Bubbles and the Zephyr. Meanwhile, Devo does go down to the Nitro in the backlines. Bubbles trying to find the Aluna here. He has the portal key. Oh, he goes for the silence but misses. Does Aluna survive? It looks like he does. No vision coming in from the Bubbles. He just had to simply guess. And unfortunately, two out of 3 times, guessed wrong.
Yep, it was unfortunate, but at least he was, he was trying to go for the blind silence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Good attempt there.
You miss every shot you don't take, so.
For sure. He's going for a Grimoire Power, by the way. He picked up the Blessed Orb just now in the Bubbles, so almost has the full Grimoire of Power.
I think it's good.
But if we want to talk about big item pickups, Dampier just got a Shrunken. I think that's going to greatly increase his odds of surviving in these team fights a bit longer.
Well, yeah, it's going to increase his odds of surviving, but is it going to increase their odds of winning the team fight because they might just be able to, to outlast the Shrunken Dampier and then, take them down afterwards. Given that they are fairly tanky with the barrier stuff, Zephyr in the front, and then some decent items on the other heroes. So we're gonna have to see if the Shrunken's gonna be able to pull them back into this game.
The Hellborn team's doing a Kongor here, down by 13 gold and 18,000 experience. Does Legion have any idea this is going on? Looks like they're heading over. Here comes the Parade of Power. Is it going to make it in time? It is going to fear them up. And Andromeda might get hit by... Sorry,
he got it.
Dampier. He is going to steal the Kongor on the King Cloud. Dampier forced to use the Shrunken. Codex does take out the Gauntlet as well. Devo hits the hook here on the Parasite, but there is not really any team support follow-up. Parasite might just simply go down. He does take out the Devourer, though, and it is going to be the double tap and a counter double tap coming in from the Dampier as well. So... Big picture, Kongor is stolen here, Fa. It's a 3-for-2 fight in the end.
Would you call it a disaster, or is it just a bad situation?
A mini disaster.
Mini disaster. Right.
I'll hit you with the in-between answer.
All right. Yeah, mini disaster, that's probably a pretty good description.
It's a mini disaster, because at least the Dampier didn't die. He was very close to dying there.
Yeah, and they did kill both Parasite and the King Cloud, but at the end of the day, they still ended up with, I think, a lower net worth position than they had before the Kongor 10. So.
Well, it looks like Zephyr's ready to staff boost. I think it has to be the Clout, or he would have already used it by now.
He used it on the no. Wait.
Come on, Zephyr.
Ooh. Is he gonna use it on the Bubbles? On Bubbles? King Cloud? Bubbles? Okay, he's on King Cloud for sure. I'm sure King Cloud's like
it's definitely. Yeah, I mean it lowers the cooldown to 80 seconds. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then with the refresher, you're looking at okay. But is he going for stuff on the King Cloud? Do you think?
I guess it's a Shrunken head. But
sorry, I mean Shrunken.
But I don't feel like that's all that useful on Clout because I think once he flies in and gets his bluster off, I don't think he really cares if he gets.
He's struggling a bit. Spells. Sorry,
Hook on the Bubbles here in mid lane. He doesn't take cover there. Here comes the Braid of Power though, fearing up the Devo. And this might get Bubbles the safety he needs. It does. And they turn it around. Parasite Codex is the gauntlet. Kelfield locking down Devo. He goes down. Dampier is here now on the Parasite. Parasite's going to walk out. The Typhoon slowing him up through the Shrunken Head. Dampier trying to pick a target. He is going to go for the TP, but he is going to survive. Actually, there were no disables to cancel that port as the Shrunken Head did wear off. And Andromeda, Devour, and Gauntlet all fall, as they were so close fought to bringing down the Bubbles, but hero of the team fight, King Clout, saves the day.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a really good save by the King Clout. And as you can see, the Dampier, he was struggling to do a whole lot when he was stuck in the Zephyr Typhoon. Because even though he had his shrunken up, the Typhoon still provides a pretty significant movement speed slow. So
I agree, it did. Yeah, they were not able to kill that Parasite or the Bubbles, who were both very low in life. And Tower takes a lot of pressure here at the base, but they ultimately fall back, and they will full reset here.
Yep. It seems like they're getting a bit too many items across the board on the Legion side for a kind of single core lineup to deal with.
Parasite gonna avoid the Devo hook, but gets kicked out of the creep. Here comes another Fear. He gets his spells off though. King Clout bought him a little bit of time. They get the counter kill here on the Gauntlet, and now he's manning up on the Devourer. Needs another Transfigure, but he has no team support as Andromeda and Dampier are now here. Devo gonna find himself a regen rune if he wants it. He's gonna go for the hook. The blind hook almost lands, millimeters off. I think King Clout felt that breeze hit him. It was so close.
What was that damage coming out from the King Cloud? He just almost one-shot the Gauntlet, I felt. I don't know if the Gauntlet was low HP from the Parasite.
Yeah, the Parasite I think added some assisted damage there.
I was surprised that he just evaporated.
Devo is gonna get counter kelped here as he did miss the hook. Breaks the Kelfield with the Andromeda swap. Bubbles is in the front lines, goes with the silence. Typhoon now locking down the Devo. There's the Storm Spirit though from Aluna. Dampier trying to pick a target. He goes on the Bubbles, but there's the take cover. Overdrive is activated, doing tons of damage through that Shrunken Head, and Dampier is going to fall. He cannot get a consume off to heal back up as he unfortunately overstepped his boundaries there.
Denied.
And does have a buyback, but will not have a Shrunken Head for another 55 seconds here.
Yep.
Will this be a Rax or maybe just a tower push here in the mid lane? What do you think we're gonna see happen?
50 seconds, 5 heroes against double hooker. They might not be able to take the Rax here. They're probably gonna look to take the tower, but the Hellborn side, they do have the advantage of having 2 hookers in their team. 2 heroes with hooks.
Double power throws, I think, just connected on the Nitro. He takes the pressure.
But they're definitely
in a ballista. Can he bring down the tower? Maybe he goes for one more hit. Nitro takes it out. Ooh, the hook attempt almost connects onto Nitro. So it looks like they will be content with the tower only. They do not force out a Dampier buyback, so I think Hellborn's a little happy with that aspect. But they do have their own combo now to attend to, as they have the Abyssal Skull Parasite. Take that.
Yep. Yeah, so even if the Hellborn team, they managed to land a good hook, they at this point they're kind of struggling in the damage output department. So that's a bit of an issue for them currently, that they might not even be able to kill whichever target they manage to lock down or open on with a hook. And that's also what happened on the mid lane, where they managed to land a really good hook into I think it was a Devour ultimate or something, but they still just didn't have enough burst damage to take down the Bubbles. So that's definitely an issue for them. See any interesting item pickups? The Nitro almost has a Shrunken, really strong support with both Nullifier 3 and Shrunken. The question is, how many wards did he put this game? Does he qualify as a support hero? Because I see that currently I see, if you look across the map, that the King Cloud is actually the one putting the wards around the map. which would suggest that maybe they have decided to sort of swap the supporting roles, and the Nitro sort of transitioning into more of like a core.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
No real harm done there. Words can be bought by everyone.
I disagree. No, wait, what?
Wait, what?
I'll
pretend I didn't hear that. Zephyr has a bulwark. Is he going to want to go full demonic here?
I definitely hope so. Demonic is a really good item on Zephyr in general, in my opinion. It just gives him a little bit of pushing power. It gives him some much needed armor. It gives him some auto attack attack damage that he's lacking. He's definitely not the hero where you want to stack too much auto attack damage, because he is mostly dealing damage through his cyclones and his typhoon. But supplying your teammates with some attack speed and armor. And
Gauntlet gonna jump here on the King Clout. He gets the Shrunken Head off though, right before Dampier is able to land the flight. He gets the Parade of Power off, fears them initially. He's gonna port to it to safety. Even ports, I think, through the power middle lane. Luna is gonna go down. Nitro very low on life. He's gonna go down as well. Kelfield comes out.
Sweet
as they do bring down the Dampier. Helmet's not gonna be covered by the Bubbles, who has double damage, by the way. Parasite's now here, and Gauntlet is all of a sudden in a world of trouble. He's gonna hook Bubbles backward. Not gonna matter though. Too much damage coming in from the Grimoire Bubbles. Zephyr not even needed here. Meanwhile, what's going on in the background? Oh, it's just Andromeda hiding in the trees.
He's without a TP.
Alright, so yeah, he's gonna need to get back to base, because Legion team is leading the front here for that middle Rex. Double hooker though, ready to go, Fa.
Yep. Let's see if they can pull
one hook. Bubbles there. Two hooks. Right in between. One hook, two hook. No good on either hook.
The weight of Sheen coming out now.
Now they have to, 8 more seconds on the...
Here comes another D.Va. Gauntlet, I don't know.
D.Va's gonna jump in, very aggressive though. Was expecting him to do a hook back. Yeah. Gauntlet surviving on one life, misses the hook again. This Rax is going to fall with very little resistance. Well, with Devo dead now, he doesn't have a buyback, so almost kind of hurts their chances of holding the second Rax. Another sidestep coming in from the Zephyr here. And this could very well be a second full set of Rax. Sheepstick from the Bubbles, just freshly purchased there. Sheeps up the Dampier. Oh, one hit on the Rax. Bubbles wanted it, and it does go down actually to the creeps. Chimman Kelfield comes in on the Dampier, forces the Shrunken Head out. Bubbles. He's gonna avoid the fear, but he's gonna get locked down. I think he's gonna take cover right now. He's gonna survive on next to nothing. Gauntlet goes down. Dampier without a Shrunken now getting transfigured by the Clout. Two-man Silence comes in from the Bubbles with the Soul Trap healing himself up. He is going to stay alive, and the GGs are called for Game 2. Looks like is under wraps here. 2-0 for KraKenwagen. They're going to take this best of 3 series. Any final thoughts here on Game 2 and ultimately the series as a whole?
Well, turns out at the end of the day that 2 hookers is maybe too many in your team.
Too many hookers.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
And the unconventional draft from Dude turns out to be successful at the end of the day. So.
Yep, a Nitro support working out for them, and they are 2-0 with a Parasite jungle lineup.
Yeah, but let's wait and see, how things are gonna progress in the later stages of the tournament. Are they gonna, stick to their jungler, or are they gonna mix things up and maybe try something else?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So with this result here, Reason Gaming will move down to the loser bracket round 1, where they are going to face B-Pro, who lost in the qualifier round. So they are still alive and will continue to play, I believe, following this match. And then we have semifinal number 2, which I believe will start once this series concludes. So that will be Top Griantak versus Noah's Ark. So that one should be a pretty good series. And they are going to be looking to see who will face the KraKenwagen in the winner bracket finals.
Yep. Congratulations to
KraKenwagen.
KraKenwagen for advancing to the winner bracket finals. Well played.